The future of African cities and urbanization. Africa is one of the fastest urbanizing continents in the world, with over 472 million people currently living in cities. According to the United Nations, Africa's urban population is expected to triple by 2050, reaching 1.34 billion people. This presents both opportunities and challenges for African cities as they try to manage rapid urbanization while ensuring sustainable development. Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we will explore the future of African cities and urbanization, including the challenges they face and potential solutions to create livable and sustainable cities. Challenges of African urbanization. 1. Rapid population growth. One of the biggest challenges facing African cities is rapid population growth. The population of African cities is growing at an unprecedented rate. According to the United Nations, the urban population of Africa is projected to triple by 2050. This growth is driven by factors such as rural-urban migration, natural population growth, and economic opportunities in urban areas. However, the rapid population growth is putting a strain on urban infrastructure, such as housing, transportation, and sanitation. It also increases the demand for food, water, and energy, putting pressure on the natural environment. 2. Informal settlements. A significant proportion of urban residents in Africa live in informal settlements, also known as slums. These settlements lack access to basic services such as water, sanitation, health services, and electricity. Residents often live in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, with little security or protection from the elements. Informal settlements are often located on the outskirts of cities, far from economic opportunities and transportation infrastructure. The lack of formal land tenure and inadequate housing also make informal settlements vulnerable to eviction, displacement, and natural disasters. Governments need to provide basic services, upgrade informal settlements, and develop affordable housing to improve the living conditions of the urban poor. 3. Traffic congestion. Traffic congestion is a major issue in many African cities, which often lack adequate public transportation systems. This leads to increased air pollution and carbon emissions, as well as lost productivity due to long commutes. The inadequate public transportation systems are a result of underinvestment, poor maintenance, and lack of planning. African cities need to invest in public transportation systems, promote non-motorized transportation such as walking and cycling, and develop integrated transport systems. 4. Climate change. African cities are particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, including increased flooding and drought. Many cities lack the infrastructure and resources to adapt to these changes, which can lead to significant economic and social costs. Climate change adaptation is critical for the sustainable development of African cities. Governments need to invest in climate-resilient infrastructure, such as flood control systems, green roofs, and rainwater harvesting systems. Additionally, cities need to develop and implement climate adaptation policies and strategies. 5. Limited funding. Finally, many African cities lack the funding and resources needed to address these challenges. This is due in part to limited tax revenues and a reliance on external funding sources, which can be unreliable. The limited funding is a result of a weak tax base, low public investment, and debt burdens. To address this challenge, African cities need to increase tax revenue, promote public-private partnerships, and seek innovative financing mechanisms such as green bonds and social impact investing. 6. Crime and insecurity. High levels of poverty and unemployment, combined with inadequate law enforcement, have contributed to high levels of crime and insecurity in many African cities. Residents are often victims of theft, robbery, and violence, with women and children being particularly vulnerable. The lack of trust in the justice system and the prevalence of corruption also contribute to the problem. 7. Limited access to healthcare. Many urban residents lack access to basic healthcare services, leading to high rates of morbidity and mortality. The healthcare system is often inadequate, with a shortage of healthcare workers and medical equipment. Residents often have to travel long distances to access healthcare services, which can be costly and time-consuming. The lack of access to healthcare exacerbates the health impacts of poverty and environmental degradation. 8. Unemployment and poverty. Despite the economic opportunities in African cities, many urban residents are unable to secure jobs or earn sufficient income. This is due to factors such as inadequate education and training, lack of access to credit, discrimination, and a mismatch between the skills demanded by the labor market and those possessed by job seekers. The result is high levels of poverty and inequality, with urban poverty rates as high as 70% in some cities. 9. Inadequate housing. The demand for affordable housing in African cities far exceeds the supply, resulting in the proliferation of slums and informal settlements. Formal housing is often expensive, and many residents cannot afford to buy or rent it. The lack of access to credit and the absence of affordable housing finance mechanisms further exacerbate the housing crisis. As a result, many residents resort to living in informal settlements or renting substandard housing, which poses health and safety risks. Potential solutions to African urbanization. 1. Urban planning. African cities need to have a well-planned urban development that includes the provision of basic infrastructure such as water supply, sanitation, electricity, and transportation. Urban planning should also take into account the needs of the local population and provide space for public amenities such as parks, community centers, and libraries. 2. Sustainable infrastructure. One potential solution to the challenges facing African cities is to invest in sustainable infrastructure. This includes green buildings, renewable energy, and public transportation systems. These investments can reduce carbon emissions, improve air quality, and create jobs. For example, the city of Johannesburg in South Africa has invested in solar energy, and the city of Addis Ababa in Ethiopia has developed a bus rapid transit system. African cities need integrated transport systems that are affordable, efficient, and environmentally sustainable. This can involve the development of mass transit systems, such as buses and trains, as well as the promotion of cycling and walking. 3. Affordable housing. Another solution is to increase the supply of affordable housing. This can be done through public-private partnerships and policies that promote the development of affordable housing units. This will help reduce the number of informal settlements and improve living conditions for residents. 4. Participatory urban planning. Participatory urban planning is a solution that involves engaging citizens and communities in the decision-making process for urban development. This approach can help ensure that development projects meet the needs of the community and are sustainable. It also helps to build trust between citizens and the government. The city of Kigali in Rwanda has successfully used participatory urban planning to involve citizens in the planning and development of the city. 5. Digital technology. Digital technology can be used to address several challenges facing African cities, including traffic congestion and limited funding. For example, smart traffic management systems can help reduce congestion and improve the flow of traffic. Digital platforms can also be used to improve tax collection and reduce corruption. The city of Lagos in Nigeria has used digital technology to improve tax collection and reduce corruption. 6. Green spaces. Creating green spaces is another solution that can help improve the livability of African cities. Green spaces, such as parks and gardens, can help reduce air pollution, provide recreational opportunities, and improve mental health. They can also be used for urban agriculture and food production. The city of Accra in Ghana has successfully created green spaces through the development of community gardens and parks. 7. Circular economy. The circular economy is an economic model that aims to reduce waste and promote sustainable consumption and production. This model can be applied to African cities, where the waste management is a major challenge. The circular economy can help create new economic opportunities and reduce environmental pollution. The city of Cape Town in South Africa has implemented a circular economy strategy that includes waste reduction, recycling, and sustainable production. 8. Inclusive economic development. Inclusive economic development is a solution that aims to ensure that economic growth benefits all members of society, not just a few. This can be achieved through policies that promote job creation, entrepreneurship, and access to financial services. Inclusive economic development can help reduce poverty and inequality and promote sustainable urbanization. The city of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania has implemented an inclusive economic development strategy that focuses on promoting small and medium-sized enterprises and improving access to financial services. 9. Strengthening governance. African cities need strong governance structures that are transparent, accountable, and responsive to the needs of their residents. This can involve reforms to improve public service delivery, combat corruption, and increase citizen participation in decision-making. 10. Encouraging entrepreneurship. African cities can promote economic growth by encouraging entrepreneurship and creating an environment that supports small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. This can include providing access to finance, training, and networking opportunities. In summary, the future of African cities and urbanization requires a comprehensive approach that addresses issues such as basic infrastructure, sustainable development, community participation, entrepreneurship, disaster risk reduction, and governance. By working together, governments, private sector actors, civil society organizations, and residents themselves can create vibrant and livable cities that promote economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. It is important for African governments to prioritize sustainable urbanization and invest in the necessary infrastructure and policies to create livable and sustainable cities. By doing so, African cities can become centers of economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. What are your thoughts on this matter? Let us know in the comments section below. If you did enjoy the video, click on the like button, subscribe, and share.